The XebiaLabs DevOps Platform provides the software delivery, intelligence, and automation that enterprises need to compete in a software-driven world. The platform includes two core modules, XebiaRelease, which provides release orchestration, and XebiaDeploy, which provides deployment automation. The platform can be scaled horizontally or vertically to serve hundreds of DevOps teams and execute thousands of application releases to all types of environments, from mainframes to middleware to the cloud and containers. XebiaRelease can be set up with an embedded or external database. A separate report database collects and unifies data from disconnected point tools to provide full end-to-end visibility across the DevOps toolchain. Users can work with XebiaRelease using a friendly graphical user interface, our cross-platform command line tool, or their continuous integration tooling. Teams can also work with XebiaRelease directly from a chat tool such as Slack. XebiaDeploy can also be configured with an embedded or external database, and includes a user-friendly GUI, command line tools, and strong integration with continuous integration tooling. XebiaDeploy also offers out-of-the-box integration content to help DevOps teams leverage cloud-based infrastructure and container technologies. The XebiaLabs DevOps Platform includes embedded databases for configuration data, but for a production-ready installation, we recommend that users use an external database instead. We support Postgres, MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server, and DB2. The XebiaLabs DevOps Platform is a Java-based application that most organizations run in a virtual machine or a Docker container, either on-premises or in the cloud. To facilitate a GitOps-style workflow, XebiaLabs has taken a renewed approach to user interfaces. Of course, all users can access the GUI using a browser, but technical users, such as developers and SREs, often prefer to use the GUI only when they need to troubleshoot an issue. For day-to-day tasks, they'd rather work with code and apply it using the command line. That's why we've developed a cross-platform CLI that can be used to create or modify configuration items and to start and monitor releases and deployments. Release orchestration and deployment automation pose different scalability challenges, so XebiaLabs takes a slightly different approach to scaling each type of workload. For release orchestration, it's important that the software provides a fast, responsive user experience, even when the system is under load. Multiple instances of XebiaRelease can be configured in a cluster, running in active hot standby or active-active mode. The cluster provides high availability for users who interact with the software using the GUI, CLI, or an API. It also ensures that the user experience is not interrupted if one of the cluster nodes stops responding. For deployment automation, it's important that there are resources available to execute simultaneous automated deployments to many different types of target environments. XebiaDeploy can be scaled horizontally via a flexible master worker setup, where worker nodes can execute deployment tasks independently of the master node, and the master node can be restarted independently of the worker nodes, greatly reducing downtime. XebiaLabs Satellite module allows users to distribute deployment tasks across independent logic executors called satellites, which are ideal for setups with high network latency, frequent network interruptions, or cross-operating system requirements. The master worker setup provides horizontal scalability, while Satellite allows exponential scaling of deployment workloads across the globe. The XebiaLabs DevOps Platform GUI and the server communicate over HTTPS, and sensitive information such as passwords and secret keys are AES encrypted. The encryption key is stored in a Java key store. XebiaLabs' agentless approach allows the platform to authenticate with external systems in several ways. Most organizations choose to use public and private keys, which XebiaLabs can optionally retrieve from external secret management tools. The XebiaLabs DevOps Platform allows creation of local user accounts, but most enterprises take advantage of LDAP integration for managing users. Many organizations also choose to implement single sign-on with two-factor authentication for enhanced security. Role-based access control within the platform is available for all user accounts. XebiaLabs offers out-of-the-box integration content for source control management, build, test, deployment, ITSM, and security tooling, so teams can get started quickly using the tools that are already in place in their organization. We also have a large repository of open-source plugins contributed by our user base. Extensibility is key in the modern DevOps space, so XebiaLabs has a robust framework for custom integrations. Users can extend existing plugins or build their own using Java or Python, and users who want to adapt deployment logic can do so by writing rules in XML or Python. In addition, we provide comprehensive REST and Jython APIs for easy communication with other tooling. XL Release is based on the concept of reusable release templates, which let users model the work that has to be done during a release process. A template is made up of tasks, which represent specific items of work. Manual tasks represent work that has to be done by a person or a team, such as writing release notes or approving the release. Automated tasks represent work that's done automatically by the platform itself or by one of the many third-party DevOps tools that we integrate with. For example, performing static code analysis or running build jobs. The user groups tasks into logical phases such as prepare release, build artifacts, and so on. As the release runs, tasks are executed sequentially or in parallel as needed, starting with the first phase, moving on to the second phase, and so on. Tasks can be locked into the template, which means they cannot be skipped or moved to another location in the process. A user can start a release from a template with a few clicks, or a release can be started as part of a GitOps-style flow in which changes that developers commit in code are implemented automatically. XL Release includes a DevOps prediction engine that uses machine learning to predict release delays and failures. This gives teams a kind of weather forecast for their releases, even before they start to run. XL Release also includes XL Impact, a goal-based DevOps intelligence feature that provides actionable insight and decision support for the end-to-end delivery process. XL Impact's goals provide context for the metrics that the platform collects from across the DevOps toolchain, including point tools such as GitHub, Jenkins, Jira, Zendesk, and more. XebiaLabs' unified deployment model is based on 3 core concepts: packages, environments, and deployments. A package describes everything that needs to be provisioned, deployed, installed, restarted, or run to get an application into an environment, such as application artifacts and specifications for configuring containers, cloud instances, virtual machines, or middleware. An environment is a logical grouping of infrastructure where an application will be deployed. An environment contains things like container platforms, cloud providers, virtual hosts, servers, clusters, and databases. To start a deployment, the user selects a package and an environment. XebiaLabs then generates a plan containing all of the steps required to deploy the application, including steps that can run in parallel. If the deployment fails, XebiaLabs automatically generates a rollback plan that will return the environment to its original state, no matter how much or how little of the original deployment was successfully executed. DevOps as Code is XebiaLabs' approach to allowing DevOps teams to define deployment packages, infrastructure, environments, release templates, dashboards, and more in declarative YAML files that they can store in source control alongside their application code. DevOps as Code ensures that both technical and business stakeholders can work in their preferred way, whether that means writing code or using the GUI. XebiaLabs brings release and deployment data together for everyone, so all team members have reports and audit data at their fingertips. The cross-platform command line interface allows users to apply YAML files to create or modify configuration items, or to immediately start release or deployment processes. In addition, CI tools such as Jenkins, Azure DevOps, and Travis CI can invoke the CLI, allowing full automation of changes from code to deployment, even to production, with full traceability across tools. Blueprints guide the user through a process that automatically generates YAML files for their applications and infrastructure. The user answers a short series of questions, and the XL CLI uses the answers to generate YAML files that define configuration items and releases, plus special files that manage sensitive data such as passwords. XebiaLabs out-of-the-box blueprints help teams leverage cloud and container technologies by guiding them through best practices and automating much of the complexity of those technologies. And DevOps teams can create their own blueprints to share knowledge, lessons learned, and best practices across the enterprise.